Witches! I have just been out and about doing some things and I'm kind of a mess, but I came in and sat right down because I just purchased a deck that I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to look at it myself. Truly, this is the Marielle Tarot. Now, I got this at a little shop in town. I'd never heard of it before. This little shop is called, I've heard of the shop. It's called Puff and Stuff. It's a great little hippie store. And of course, it has tarot decks, but I'd never heard of this deck before. Second edition, Marie White, the Marielle Tarot. Okay, second edition. It's by Red Feather Publishing. They've put out some really good decks. And let's go to the back. Hold on, I want to do one thing here. Come on. Okay. In this new and revised second edition of The Powerful Alchemy of the Soul, the Marielle Tarot revisit 78 magnificent tarot cards, including 4 new and enchanting paintings and updated guidebook, Landscapes of the Abyss, with fresh keyword symbolism and traditional oil paintings in the classic style. Enjoy a journey through the meaning of each card via the landscape of the Moon and High Priestess. Ooh. And enter the geometry of the temple and Tree of Life, Merkaba, and Caduceus. 5 spreads will help you find a doorway between heaven and earth, microcosm and macrocosm, in the world of eternity and infinity, leading to symbols and arrangements hidden within the language of art. This presentation is a rare and exquisite gem that will... Okay, I rushed here to do this. Now I need to slow down and catch up with my tongue. Okay. This presentation is a rare and exquisite gem that will reflect the truth inside you, suitable for all levels of tarot experience. 78 tarot cards and guidebook. Working with the Alchemy of the Soul. 4 new oil paintings with updated guidebook, suitable for all levels of tarot experience. This is 2019 by Marie White and Red Feather Publishing. Now, it says 4 new oil paintings. That leads me to think I'm going to find actual oil paintings in this box. I don't think that's the truth. Okay, so let's go. I took the plastic off the outside. Oh, look at this. So, snappy box. Beautiful inside. Look at this. And then we have... Okay, I think it's supposed to be like that. Okay, so we've got this little insert here with a little place for you to put your finger. I think it's supposed to be under like that, maybe? Okay, because this little tab was up, so it didn't work. All right, there's the book. Glossy, full color, glossy. Wow. Landscapes of the Abyss, second edition. And you can see how fast I was moving. Didn't take the plastic off the... And they got silver on them. Ooh. All right. This was an expensive deck. And I think, hoping worth every penny. Certainly the packaging puts it up there. Okay. I'm going to slow down a little bit more here. Look at the silver. And then we have... I wonder if I can make things a little bit better for you here. Do you see how I just kind of sat down here with no frickin' plan of having my shit together? Whatever. Okay. Let's get you zoomed in. I almost did this as a live stream. I'm kind of glad I didn't. All right. So we've got the backs. We have these Ouroboroses. Ouroboros. The Ouroboros is the, and I've heard of Ouroboros, Ouroboros. I've heard different pronunciations. It's the serpent that bites its own tail. and makes the wheel. Definitely an alchemical symbol. And then we've got the beautiful, these are, you see how they're chunking together? You hear that? That tells me that the they kind of have stuck together from the printing. This is going to be interesting shuffle-wise, because see how they're still chunking together. You can hear them kind of cracking. All right, enough of that. Let's go. You know what? I love me on the side for my live stream readings, but I feel like I want to zoom you in more. So, there. That's better. The Fool. I mean, first of all, let's just take in the art itself. Wait a second. No, let's not. Let's fuck around some more. Okay, so we've got that. Now, let's do that and that. How's that? That's a little bit better, eh? Right. So we've got the magician here in his mask. We've got the serpents. Those Ouroboroses on the back, the two serpents. There they are. Yeah, because we've got sort of the blue and the gold on both of them. And the magician kind of looks like he's battling these serpents. And there's butterflies. So there are symbols of transformation here. You see the kind of dragony feet. Okay. And look, Peen. That's a rarity in a deck. And here's, oh wait, that's the Fool. What was I saying? The magician. The Fool. So he's got like the jester's mask on. So here's the Fool, just struggling with everything. And then here's the magician. So he has this sacred geometry. What's that called? I don't know, but there it is, all together. Certainly the tree of life would be in there. I mean, look at that. Holding it all in his hand. And I love the sort of ring wraith look of him. So it looks like the magician has all of these alchemical symbols in his hands. And that makes a lot of sense. And here's the high priestess. So look at the black. And she's got a fire. We have Hebrew characters. We have the two black and white pillars, the pomegranates. So we do have a lot of traditional symbolism. It's just reinterpreted. And her hands, they're holding this sacred fire. Now I'm curious, because they specifically talked about, I mean, I might just go through the book because the pictures are bigger. Kinda. Not much bigger. All right, let's see what it says about her. I want to see what the Hebrew characters say. Magician, autumn, Shekinah, magician, depths. So it looks like, all right, looking very quickly, I don't see, I would have to read this whole thing too. Come up with what those characters mean. Oh, the symbols for this life. Okay, that the high priestess contains is the flame with the Hebrew letters for the word Torah. So that means Torah, sacred writings. All right. The Empress with a baby on her back and a basket full of apples. Look at this. It's beautiful. Just exquisite, delicate images. Look at the soft coloring. Look at the softness of that sleeping baby. These are gorgeous. And there's the Emperor. He's got symbols, alchemical symbols on his hand, on his head, the dragonfly. Wow. I'm hearing weird noises. Okay, and I am all alone, which is unusual. Okay, The Hierophant. We've got the snakes again and the wings and the key. I mean, they're just exquisite images. The Lovers. Ding, 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 we have diversity. Male, female, young, old. So we could look at the Lover's card as a union of opposites, a union of diverse. The diverse. The Chariot. Look at the wolves. This is what made me settle on this deck. I was also looking at the Occult Tarot, and it's like I want to hold both of these in my hand, and I looked at them, and I saw this image, and it's like, yep, that's the one for me. In fact, where did I see that image? I think, oh, I looked it up on my phone, and it showed me this with the wolves. So, yeah. Justice. So there's the Feather of Ma'at. I was going to say this Egyptian style says Ma'at, and indeed it is. The Hermit. You see how they're kind of sticking together? The Hermit. Wow. Oh. Just beautiful. Look at how the wind is billowing around. You can't really tell if it's wind and water. It looks like both. Kind of looks like oh, I can't remember the artist's name. The wave, the Japanese woodcut wave, and just the delicacy. And there's like a dynamic movement in all these spirals. Beautiful. Wheel of Fortune. She's got the blindfold on like Justice. So she's in a boat, and she's got this wheel like right at her center here. Okay. Strength. Look at the beads. So here's knees. It's like the lion is coming out. I can't wait to dive into this. The Hanged Man. Again, just the lines of dynamic energy. Death. Temperance. Look at the tiger in the water. That's fascinating. The Devil. Oh my God, these are gorgeous. The Tower. And now here we go really soft. You know, some of these have like more, have sharper detail in them, like the tiger. And then we have this really soft, almost impressionistic, the Star. There's the Moon. Oh, look. There's a vulture there. Look at the rays and somebody with their mouth open. It almost, truthfully, that face looks like death. If you've ever seen a very old person after death, when the jaw is locked open. Whew, the Sun. Look at that pair. Oop. Judgment. So here again we get like this phoenixy. I don't know, those look like feathers in the back. Certainly a phoenix. What an image. And the World. Glorious. All right, into the suits. We have the Ace of Wands. Let me crack these this way. Look at that energy. Whoosh. On the move. All right. The Ace. Oh, so we're doing all the aces. The Ace of Swords. Clearly air. Wands is clearly fire. We've got the lion. We've got the eagle for swords. We've got the angel for cups. And the bull for discs. All right, this is confusing me because the angel is the symbol for Aquarius, which is an air sign. The eagle is a symbol for Scorpio, which is a water sign. So I'm very confused about those two. New systems to learn. And now we have the twos, the Two of Wands, the Two of Swords. Look at that. I mean, clearly swords are air. The Two of Cups. We've got these horses. And then, whoops, I'm sorry, pulling them the wrong way. And then the Two of Discs, like pennies on your eyes. Wow. Then we have the threes. So here we are definitely veering way off. Sorry, I'm just trying to crack these so they're separate. Way off of traditional imagery. Here's the Three of Wands. And one of the wands is a serpent heading for an eye. And then there's the Three of Swords. I just remembered a very strange poem. And I can't remember who did it, but it was like, you fit into me like a hook into an eye. Like a, hook and eye that you're on your clothes. It was, you fit into me like a hook into an eye, a fish hook, an open eye. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, Three of Swords. That's traditional. Three of Cups is not. But we definitely get the flow there. Here's the Three of Discs. Oh, well, you definitely get the idea of a collaboration happening there, don't you? That's beautiful. The Four of Wands. That's strength of that tree. Swords. Four of Cups. So these are like just really elemental. And with wands, you see the fire. So is the tree burning? I mean, that. And then the swords is just clouds. The cups are water. And the Four of Discs. So we just kind of get a setting there. We don't get traditional meaning. Five of Wands. The Five of Swords. Very different from the traditional and just incredibly beautiful. The Cups. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. And there's the disc. Oh. Oh, this person's artistry is just amazing. Marie White, Six of Wands. There's the Victory card. The Swords. That certainly gives you the idea of guidance, doesn't it? The Six of Cups. Wow. And the Six of Discs. There's certainly enough in these images to trigger intuitive skills. The Seven of Wands. Hello there. The Seven of Swords. Look at that. The raven and the serpent. Cups. Oh my goodness. And discs. Wow, we really departed there. We had animal, 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 and then not. Okay. Eight of Wands. Swords. Okay, that definitely gives the idea of being trapped somewhere. Symbols all up and down the sides here. Cups. Look at the lion pelt and discs. I see lion faces there too. The Nine of Wands. Set your boundaries as loudly as you need to. The Nine of Swords. The Nine of Cups. We've got the Towers, like the High Priestess. Interesting. And the Nine of Discs. Like a Baphomet. There's the 10. He's off on a fiery horse. The 10 of Swords. Oh! Death coming on a pale horse, perhaps. The 10 of Cups. And we've got a skeleton there. And another horse. Are these the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? It looks like it might be. And the 10 of Discs. Now we have the courts. There's the Page of Wands. The Page of Swords. Both looking female. Page of Cups, androgynous. And the Page of Discs. Oh. The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Riding an owl, the Knight of Cups. The Lotus and the Knight of Discs. Then we have the Queen of Wands. Oh, look at her. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Cups. I think I just fell in love. Look at that. And the Queen of Discs. And then we have the King. Wands, the King of Swords, the King of Cups, and the King of Discs. And they're saying including four new ones. I wonder what those would be. Including 4 new and enchanting paintings. All right, I don't see anything else in the box. Let's find out what we can here. Introduction to the Tarot. All right, let's look. We have Introduction to the Tarot. And then we have the Major and the Minor. And then we have the Tarot Court. And then we have Using the Tarot. Conclusion and notes. All right. Let's go and see Landscapes of the Abyss. All right. Art is the language of the soul. This book is to support the Marielle Tarot. It is to tell you about the wonderful treasures you will find within the lowly yet intriguing 78 pieces of inked cardboard. It will dig around in the mud, plant a seed, and then watch it struggle to rise up through the dark waters and then to the surface, where it will break the tension and burst forth into the pale moonlight and languish in it. I want it to amaze you with the wondrous truths it reveals, the glorious patterns that flow through its iconography, the history and the innovations. The major arcana, which began in the pseudo-apocalyptic Middle Ages deep in the clutches of Black Death, first opened its eye amidst one of the most artistically creative times in all humanity. It is a universal key, an alphabet with which one can write the powerful name of every single thing, even God. And the poetry written with that alphabet is the minor arcana. Okay, I want to tell you how it is every bit as meaningful as the major arcana and how a perfect, beautiful symmetry exists between the two, how they represent the world of spirit and the corporeal world, and they make each other, flow through each other, and are actually one entity like the 2 circles of the lemniscate. How the minor arcana on one level represents the different aspects of your body and soul, and how it takes you on a journey of developing the different aspects of yourself, finding, growing, balancing, maturing, and eventually all of these aspects will come together in the churning crucible of the prima materia of your body and then meld together in divine temperance, transforming into an enlightened being that will accomplish his will in this life. How the minor arcana on one level represents blah, 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 and eventually all of these will come together, transforming. All right. That isn't really a sentence. Most of all, Tarot is a reflection of our own soul, which is itself a reflection of the wisdom of the universe. Nietzsche said, "Battle not with monsters, lest you become a monster. And if you gaze for long into the abyss gazes also into you." All right. Actually, what I'm looking for here is what the 4 new cards are. Major and minor together, structure of the tarot, perfect ambiguity, and then we start into this. About the author. Well, there she is. Let's meet her. Hello, Marie. You're incredible, my love. Marie White was compelled to create art from a very early age and thought of it as something akin to breathing or water. She grew up with a pencil in hand, recording the substance of dreams, visions, nature, and the human form. In 1997, her love of mysticism, symbolism, words, and art collided naturally, and she began the Marielle Tarot, which ended up taking over a decade to complete. That, I believe. Her favorite medium is oil paint, used in a method called grisaille, a technique also favored by the old masters, where thin layers of color are slowly built up, bringing out the natural depth and luminosity of the paint. Born and raised in Southern California, she presently lives with her 3 children in the sultry Piedmont forest of North Carolina, where she can paint under the rolling thunder and the moving shadows of trees. Okay. So it doesn't tell us what the new ones are. That makes me sad. So let's jump in and do a reading here, and let's look at the using the tarot part. A daily reading spread, within, without, and advice, a relationship spread, a yes or no, a past life spread, who were you, what was your pleasure, what was your disappointment, unfinished business, and advice. Tetractys spread, that's 10 cards. No, we're not going to do that. Let's go for something small. Let's go for the 3 card, because this is new and I want to read each of the cards here. So here's the question now. How does she shuffle? Let me zoom you back out. Okay. And let me invite in guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you for being here. Come to the fore and help me welcome this new deck. And I welcome it with fresh water, with, hold up. My stomach just went, Did you hear it? So first of all, let's run it through the sage to cleanse. And let's anoint it with some salt water to cleanse as well, to purify and charge, to bless and make whole. And then let's run it through the fire of Azrael. Pick up that spirit of divination and give it a shuffle. Hey, look. I think it'll get better as I go. But that wasn't too bad. They're not quite cut. I mean, barely. I guess it's just easier to see because of the silver. Hold on. They're still going in clumps, and I don't like that. So I'm going to see if I can get them to... I don't think they're all cut evenly. They're not. Oh dear. So the reason they're not shuffling well is that they are not cut well. I'm going to try to put this over. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah. Okay, card producer, you had one job. Make a deck of cards that's usable. And that's a kind of a red flag. You can tell a deck isn't cut evenly when it does that chunky thing. When you're trying to shuffle and it's going chunkity chunk chunk. So Not happy about that. Not happy at all about that. But that also means I'm doing a spread and pull. So here's how we work around. You know, we don't want to blame the artist or the deck for the shortcomings of the manufacturer. So let's just say we want the 3-card spread, please. And things are trying to leap out all over the place. All right. 10 of Swords. How did that end up upside down? I'd like to know. All right. Well, we're going to look up the 10 of Swords, but let's give it... All right, let's just give it another shuffle till we get the 3rd card, huh? There, okay. And we've got 3 over there too. Let's go here. All right. So this spread, and I got a 10 and an ace and an emperor. For each of the majors, we can see we get a somewhere in there it seems to be there's a verse. See, Hanged Man, there's a verse here by Rumi, and then there's it just starts and we get a lot of information, and then we have keywords upright and reversed. And that's it. So death does not start with the little verse. We go here, and then we get a verse. And then for temperance, look, we get the entire William Blake, Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright. So that's for the majors. Let's go to the minors. And much, much shorter. So we just get the description upright and reversed. And then courts, King of Cups, same thing, a description, upright and reversed. They seem to be a little bit more involved than at least the King of Cups was. All right. So this is within, without, and advice. This is what's going on inside you today. Thoughts, feelings, desires, and 10 of Swords was what leapt out there. I also didn't give this deck a question. Whew, maybe I rushed to shoot this a little too fast. All right. No, this one has a verse. If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. I love it. Okay. That is one of those enigmatic Buddhist koans, you know, Buddhist puzzles, conundrums that you have to think on, and it will bring you wisdom. And what does it mean? If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. It means don't hold anything sacred. Question everything. And the Buddha himself said, don't take my word for it. Question everything I say. You know, figure it out for yourself. Sorry, I'm so wiggly. God. So what a great thing. If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. So this is the slaying of the sacred cows. And this position was where we're at today, right within. Then we have another verse. When the Lamb opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. So this is from Revelation, right? Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over 1/4 of the earth to kill by sword, famine, and plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth. Was that Dante's Inferno, or is that the book of Revelation? I don't really know. Had a dream. Okay, then I'm just going to read this whole thing. I had a dream last night that I sketched a 10 of Swords. On it, a person was lying on the ground with an eagle ripping out his spine. Perhaps this is the same great eagle that was charged by Zeus to eat the liver of Prometheus every day in punishment for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to mortal men. Zeus chained Prometheus to a rock, and every day the eagle maimed him and caused him unspeakable pain and suffering, and every night the liver grew back so the cycle could be repeated. And so it is with all men. We steal fire, life force from the gods, consciousness, awareness, intellect from the gods. which we keep for ourselves, and the gods punish us by chaining us to the earth and inside a mortal body. Okay, that's a good interpretation. I look at it as we have self-awareness, we have ego, we have the consciousness of self, and then we get precious about it. And in our preciousness, and this ego is what pecks at our liver. We're constantly suffering from what our mind does to us. All right, they then punish our impudence for containing something a bit like them with unspeakable suffering. But as the sun sets on one body, another is regenerated in the morning over the immortal pearl at the core, and thus the cycle of suffering and reincarnation continues until we find a way to break the chains. So it can talk about reincarnation as well. The Sufi philosopher Hafiz of Persia said that time is a factory where everyone slaves away, earning enough love to break their chains. And so is the wheel of air in the cruel jaws of Amut, life and death, grinding together, and we fashion a beautiful soul. It is somehow appropriate that death rides on a pale, bile-colored horse. His scythe separates the gross from the sublime, removing from you that which binds and setting you free, be it in body, life, thought, understanding, or consciousness. The ego is eternal, limited by words. The ego is the eternal, limited by words. The scythe is followed by silence. Holy shit, man. Death of the ego, death of illusion, truth found, enlightenment, free your mind, free yourself from what you know. So here we have the 10 of Swords, which if I had to just go, from what I know of the Tarot, I'd be saying, something has to crash and burn. And this is saying, yes, but what that thing is the ego. That's just exquisite. Free your mind, free yourself from what you know. Okay. So where are we at today? We're in an ego bind. We've got the eagle pecking at our liver. And we need to free ourselves from what we think we know, all right? And let me read the reversed. Illusion, delusion, difficulty letting go of something you've invested a lot in, ideas, knowledge, beliefs about yourself, lies, fantasy, fool's paradise, falsehood, security and comfort in an illusion, happy ignorance. Wow. Very original. And then the next thing, okay, so that was within, and then without is the Emperor. It's going to be a lot of reading here. Buckle up. The Emperor, and the category is described as, this is what is going on around you in the external world. People, work, situations, environment. Again, an overall trend or theme of the day. We don't have a verse on this one. Okay. The Emperor takes the and we have a lot less content for this one than some of the others, it seems. All right, here we go. The Emperor takes the diversity and abundance of life from the Empress, and he organizes it and puts it in order, imposes law on it. He is number 4. So interesting. Whereas usually the male principle is the force and the female is the form, it's kind of saying here, she is the force of love and abundance, just unconditional. And he takes it and puts form around it and laws and limits. He is number 4, and as such he is extremely stable and is the embodiment of the idea of earth. He is the earthly father archetype and king of kings, ruler of the 4 quarters of the earth, the 4 pillars that hold up the heavens, the 4 sides of a pyramid stable and square. He imposes order and harmony on the elements. He is the manifestation of spirit into earth. Like King Arthur or the Fisher King of legend, he is the land. He and the kingdom are one, as if his own body were divided up into mountains and plains, oceans and deserts. The fate of the land is his fate. So this is the sacred king that is married to the land. All 4 of the elements are represented in this card. The dragonfly and red clothes for fire, the pentagram on his hand, and Malkuth colored ring for earth, the blue stone in the hilt of the sword for water, and the sword, which is really a phallus, channeling it up into the air with the clouds and lightning and birds. The fourth letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Daleth, which means door. In the older Proto-Canaanite alphabet, Daleth was called Dig and meant fish, like the ones inscribed on his sword. The fourth Sephiroth is Chesed, which means love and kindness. It is the first Sephiroth beneath the abyss. I love the idea of love and kindness being the reason Earth exists, or that we all exist, that life in this world of fierce duality is where we go to experience love and grow our souls. Upright keywords: father figure, benevolent leader, protector and provider, authority, master of your home, house, kingdom, self, environment, etc., in control and in command, order, limits, boundaries, stability. The reversed is instability and disorganization, oppression, abuse of power, malevolent leader, weak boundaries, a break from fatherhood. Okay, so where are we today? What's going on around us? Talking about mastery, self, environment, in control and in command, limits, boundaries. So inside of us, we're grappling with the ego. Outside of us, we're kind of grappling with the structure of things, the limitations, the boundaries. We're confronting boundaries. All right, within. Ego death, confronting what we think we know. And the Emperor says, outside we're looking at boundaries and structures, and so we're pushing against external limits as well. Internal limits basically are the ego. And the last category is advice. This is the advice you need to get through the day, especially in regard to any difficulties or challenges in cards 1 and 2. All right. So what happens when we're confronted with our ego and all of its quacking and it's pecking at our liver inside, and when we're confronted with limitations outside and boundaries and laws that mean we can't do just anything we want to? The advice is Ace of Swords. And that, we have a verse: dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so you shall become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. Okay, so that this is a statement. This is by James Allen. It is a statement that if we're desiring something, if we're wanting something, it already exists within us. If it didn't, we wouldn't even know to want it. So when we really desire something, kind of what we're saying is that we have not connected with that in ourselves. We're cut off from it in ourselves, and we're yearning for it. That's what makes us yearn for it. So we just have to integrate and come inside. Take these barriers down, take down the boundaries and limitations that stops us from realizing that we already have everything we need to become who we're here to be. It's already there. We just need to get the ego the fuck out of the way and get these perceived limitations out of the way and claim the authority that we need to claim to be who we are. Okay, let me read this Ace of Swords. There's really a big variance in how much information is written on each card, because this Ace of Swords has a lot for a minor. The Ace of Swords is the eagle, symbol of the exalted Scorpio. It is the autumnal equinox, air. See, so they acknowledge it's Scorpio, but it's air. I'm so confused. And usually it's air and fire that are whacked out. But this is air and water? Okay. The eagle and Scorpio are symbols for the evolution of mankind, the evolution of our soul, wanting and willing to have the ability to rise up from the dark waters and the black earth, to break free from the bondage of gravity and fly free in the wind. The eagle is the prince of birds, noble, strong. It falls like lightning and has vision that is incredibly sharp. It has often been used as the symbol for God, who comes down to mate with humans in its form, or to bring souls of the dead back up to heaven. As air, it is it is the breath, inspiration, life. It is the reconciliation between male and female, yin and yang, God and goddess. It is the middle pillar. When it learns to harness the power of controlling both contrasting aspects of itself, dark and light, it will be the reason of the charioteer, and from the earth it will rise and become the eagle at the top of the caduceus, the realized potential of the human soul. So I'm catching this duality thing here. When you think about swords, you know, the double-edged blade. Air traditionally deals with the intellect or thoughts, ideas. The suit of swords is often portrayed negatively, which is understandable when you use the tarot for divination and need to balance between positive and negative. And this was reflected in Atea's divinatory meanings. Atea, I think that is the Marseille, Tarot de Marseille? I'm not sure. But swords/air can be so much more if sought and understood in the concept of spiritual development, where it goes beyond just thoughts and intellect and maybe the coldness perceived in those ideas and into the concepts of free will, purpose, reason for existence, communication, language, development from an innocent who is born divine to a person who needs to learn to balance and control and take responsibility for their own creation and will and seek out enlightenment. That's a long-ass sentence. She's prone to long-ass sentences. I did not even try to get meaning out of that because there was just too much from the beginning to the end. It is in this element, symbolized in the middle pillar, that one will combine and transform the different aspects of themselves into something divine, a son of the sun. This is where one will find redemption. Scorpio starts off as the crustacean rising from the dark waters in the pit of the earth up to the reflection of the moon, and then it becomes the great exalted eagle in the eyrie at the top of the world tree, and even more the phoenix, the immortal, transcendent spiritual gold. It all starts with an open mind, a willingness to learn, an ability to speak, read, and record, and to learn to balance and find the beauty in the dark and the light and not let it damage you or shut you down. Finally, it is in balancing all aspects of the self as the charioteer with reason and free will. Finally, it is in balancing all aspects of the self as the charioteer with reason and free will, and you will reach your life's potential as a human being. Okay. Upright is new, original thought, idea, or concept, new knowledge or understanding, initiate a search for truth, clear head, clear thinking, sharp focus or awareness, clear, sharp vision, initiating concept, take off on new projects or ideas, begin a plan of action. The reversed is obscurity, too heavy or cluttered to begin, fly, a need for new ideas or solutions, unclear, foggy thinking. All right. So the advice is to get clear-headed and get moving. We've got the ego that is wrestling with things when we think, it's so funny because most of the time when we're really struggling with something and we just don't know what to do and we're having these horrible thoughts, depression and all this kind of crap going on, it's just the ego. It's the ego doing all the quacking. And if we can let go of the storyline, then the outer limitations fall away as well. When the ego falls away, this perceived limitation does as well. The advice here is just to get the fuck moving. Look at the eagle looking back at the emperor here. Look at the Ten of Swords looking at the emperor here. And the emperor, the card of authority and decision making, and where the buck stops is looking at the eagle as well, saying time to be discriminating. Look at the sword upraised here in the Ace of Swords. Time to be discriminating, to divide between what is wanted and not wanted, to get clear-headed on a plan, maybe even start to write down that plan, and then get moving. Wow. Whew. And now, let's look at these other cards that flew out, shall we? All right, I'm going to leave these up here. Here's this kind of 6-card thing, because I got 3 other cards here. Let's go here and here. 6 of Wands, and I'll just go to keywords here. So between the Ten of Swords and the Emperor, sorry. Between the interior and the exterior, we've got 6 of Wands. I have to keep remembering that we have them all the numbers are clumped together. The possession of knowledge, unless accompanied by a manifestation and expression in action, is like the hoarding of precious metals, a vain and foolish thing. Knowledge, like wealth, is intended for use. The law of use is universal, and he who violates it suffers by reason of his conflict with natural forces. Keywords are battling your demons, fighting with dragons, enemies, and obstacles. Face your fears. Fight darkness with light. This is the victory card. So this is talking about fight, fight, fight. This is the fight, not the outcome, not the victory. So it's saying that we really need to grapple with the ego here. The demons consist of the ego and this perception of limitation from the outside. And then let's look at the 5 of discs. Heaven is in the breast, eternity is now. So 5 of Pentacles usually is like abandonment. This one is sanctuary, inner peace, paradise, safety, home. Be balanced inside to deal with the chaos outside. Perfected process, equality of all people, strength, power, heart, and wisdom from inside. Knowing all of the answers can be found inside yourself. All right. So, yeah, fascinating. So, when we're looking externally and trying to make a plan, we need to do it from a place of inner peace, of safety, of being grounded, and having our process down. How are we going to go about this? And let's look at this as the outcome. We've got the 5 of Cups here. And you see how we kind of 6, 5, 5, they didn't really separate. And I didn't do a spread and pick, but we'll take it as it comes. Love conquers all, Virgil. That's the verse. And there's another one here. Deep wells must be dug if you want clear water. Tiefe Brunnen muss man graben, wenn man klares Wasser will. Okay. Heart of the matter, heart, center, source. Wounded healer, healing wounds, painful things rising so they can be healed. Wounds give you empathy for others. Act with compassion, empathy, and kindness, benevolence, and sympathy. So, what is the outcome here? It's time to heal some wounds, to heal the heart wound here, to look at things with a clear vision and understand that the ego, the problems we're having in wrestling with the ego and perceived limitations from outside is really because we have a wound to heal. We've got this hole. We got a hole here that needs to be filled. And we fill it from this well of unconditional love. Wow. Dang, you guys. This is an amazing deck. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Holy crap. I don't like that it is unevenly cut. And, by a lot. If I'm looking at the edge of the cards here, I don't know if I can. Yeah, look at that. That's off by a lot. Can you see? Yeah. Off by a lot. Not good. But do a spread and pull. Work around it however you have to, because these are beautiful cards. Absolutely gorgeous. The sad part is that they would shuffle fine. The card stock tells me they'd shuffle fine if they were cut evenly. Damn it. So, anyhow, I highly recommend this deck, and I hope you enjoyed this weird kind of disjointed energy that I have today. But I'm so glad you're here to hang out with me, and if you would like me to read for you on a video, please jump down to that Amazon wish list below and grab me a deck, and I will read for you. Put a question in your make me a little note on it. Pardon me, make me a little note on Amazon, and let me know what question you have that I can answer for you with my first read of the deck. And there's also places to donate, buy me a cup of coffee, whatever you want to do down below. I appreciate everything that you send my way. And I mostly just appreciate you being here so I can make these crazy videos and do something with all of my time. All right, you guys, until I see you next time, thanks for hanging out. This is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.